Donald Trump.
It was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people.
For years, one uncomfortable truth has hovered in the background. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein once coochie-coochie in the same social circles. Before that relationship collapsed and never recovered. Trump has said he had already ties cut with Epstein well before his arrest, and no Epstein victim has accused Trump of any wrongdoing. Still, when the Epstein files were released, Trump's names appear thousands of times, instantly lighting up headlines and timelines. But here is where drama falls apart. Most references show Epstein and others sharing news articles about Trump, arguing over his policies, or gossiping about him and his family. It sounded less like a secret plot, more like a noisy opposition political group chat with, of course, no mute button. The US Department of Justice also released summaries of FBI tip line calls from people claiming they had information about Trump. Many stories were sensational, some borderline unbelievable, and most were checked and quickly dismissed. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche later confirmed the FBI received hundreds of calls, but of course, most of were lacking credibility. Before we dive into Trump's response, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us to create more content like this. Thank you. So here is Trump's response. From the Oval Office, he didn't sound worried. In fact, he sounded too bored. He told reporters it was really time for the country to move on, saying he hadn't even read the newly released files, which include photos, emails, flight logs, and FBI tips.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else.
In classic Trump fashion, his message was clear. Controversy only matters if you acknowledge it. And he's ready on to the next headline now. And just like that, the Epstein files dropped. Trump's story was far from over. Before we continue, comment on where in the world you're watching this from. I'm curious how far this story has traveled. Jeffrey Epstein.
What was the crime of which you were convicted?
Two counts, one soliciting prostitution and procuring a minor for prostitution.
Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just a wealthy man with powerful friends, he was a walking question mark wrapped in money, mystery and influence. Publicly, he called himself a financier. Privately, no one could explain who paid him, why billionaires trusted him, or how he kept getting access to the world's most powerful people. For years, Epstein hosted politicians, celebrities, scientists, and royalty. And he's now in famous island, which is of course Epstein Island. When allegations of trafficking exploded into the open, the image collapsed overnight. Epstein was arrested in 2019 and charged with abusing and exploiting underage girls. Then came the moment that turned scandal into legend. His death in a New York jail while awaiting trial. Officially ruled a suicide. Unofficially, a global storm followed by endless questions. Cameras failed, guards slept. The timing stunned everyone. Epstein didn't just leave behind crimes, he left behind files, names, rumors, and a scandal so big that years later the world still hasn't hit a close tap. Prince Andrew. The man once known as Prince Andrew had spent years trying to escape question about his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. And no matter how hard he tries, the story keeps following him like a bad group chat that never gets deleted. Much of the attention comes from claims made by Virginia Giuffre, who said Epstein trafficked her and told her to have sushi with Prince Andrew when she was only 17.
He knows what happened. I know what happened. And there's only one of us telling the truth.
Andrew has denied this again and again. Last year, his brother King Charles III officially removed his royal titles, proof that even in the royal family, actions can still get you grounded. Now, newly released documents have brought the story back. Andrew's name appears hundreds of times, including in Epstein's emails, mention of dinner at Buckingham Palace, awkward introductions, and photos that raised more questions than answers. And once again, the public is watching because this story refuses to quietly disappear. Lionel Messi. Picture this. It's early February 2026. You open social media and suddenly football fans around the world are questioning reality. After a fresh release of Epstein-related files by US Department of Justice, a blurry, low-quality image began spreading online, allegedly showing Lionel Messi and Sergio Aguero shirtless in a bed on Jeffrey Epstein's private island. The rumor exploded on X, with users declaring their football heroes exposed because on the internet, a blurry photo is apparently stronger than evidence. But the drama didn't last long. Users soon compared the image to a real selfie Messi shared on Instagram in 2019 showing Aguero asleep in the background during a normal trip. Same angle, same faces, but just fewer pixels. In the end, no island scandal, Just another reminder that online outrage loads faster than facts. Sergey Brin. Sergey Brin, the billionaire co-founder of Google, also appears in emails connected to Jeffrey Epstein from years before Epstein's crime became public. According to those emails, Brin made plans to meet Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell at Epstein New York townhouse. In 2003, Maxwell invited Brin to a movie screening of Down with Love in New York. A few weeks later, she followed up with an invitation to what she described as a happily and casual dinner at Epstein's home. Words that haven't aged well. Brin even suggested bringing along Google's then CEO Eric Schmidt because nothing says casual dinner like turning into a board meeting. So when asked for comment years later, Google spokesperson did not immediately respond, proving that sometimes silence is the fastest reply. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is one of the biggest names falsely dragged into Epstein's rumor. And honestly, this one needs to stop immediately. There is zero evidence linking her to Jeffrey Epstein. No emails, no fight logs, no photos, no meetings, nothing. This rumor existed for only one reason. She is famous. And let me say this very clearly. Taylor is my crush, so please do not talk bad about her without receipts. Jokes aside, this wasn't a scandal, it was a pure internet nonsense. No victim has mentioned her, no document connects her to the real lesson here. In virtual culture, even being completely innocent doesn't protect you, especially if you are Taylor Swift. Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, a former advisor to Donald Trump, also appears in the messages tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Records show the two exchanged hundreds of friendly texts, including messages sent just 2 months before Epstein's 2019 arrest and death. Their conversations covered politics, travel, and even a documentary Bannon was reportedly considering, which could help repair Epstein's public image. Because when your reputation is on fire, the obvious solution is a documentary. In one 2018 exchange, they discussed Trump's threats to remove federal reverse chairs Jerome Powell. In another message from 2019, Bannon asked Epstein if he could borrow his plane for a pickup in Rome, proof that private jets make people very comfortable asking favors. The two also shared gossip about Trump and his politics. When asked for comment, Bannon did not respond. Bill Clinton. Like Trump, Bill Clinton also spent time with Jeffrey Epstein more than 20 years ago. That included occasional flights on Epstein's private jet and encounters at the White House, which at that time raised few eyebrows. Clinton has said he had no knowledge of Epstein's crime. According to his representatives, Clinton caught ties with Epstein after Epstein's first criminal charges in 2006, proving that even politicians sometimes read the red flag, but just a bit late. Investigators later find photos of Clinton among Epstein's personal snapshot in New York. The file also includes public tips demanding to know why Clinton wasn't investigated. Importantly, again, no Epstein victim has publicly accused Clinton of any wrongdoing. People might say this script has been written by ChatGPT, but it's completely written by human. Please do comment the favorite part of the video. I really want to know which part you guys really love. Bill Gates.
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that.
Bill Gates has now publicly said he regrets ever knowing Jeffrey Epstein. A statement that arrived years late but very clearly worded. In a recent interview, Gates denied new claims from the Epstein files, including an allegation that he hid a medical issue from his former wife, Melinda French Gates. His office called the claims completely false, and Gates said an incriminating email was never ever sent by himself. Apparently, Epstein was emailing himself, which raises question all on its own. Melinda Gates was honest about it. She said the experience was painful and that her ex-husband still has questions to face. The couple divorced in 2021 after 27 years of marriage. Gates said he met Epstein for dinners about funding science projects, never visited the island, and now calls the whole thing a dead end. In hindsight, he says every minute spent with Epstein was a mistake. One he clearly wishes he could uninstall, just as deleting a virus from Windows 11. In fact, Windows 10. Stephen Hawking became one of the most surprising names dragged into Epstein's charter, and also one of the most misunderstood. Hawking did visit Jeffrey Epstein's Caribbean island, but not for parties, favors, or anything remotely scandalous. He was there for a science conference alongside our own researcher, talking about physics and, of course, the universe. No accusations have ever been made against him, and no victim has linked him to wrongdoing. Still, the internet saw Epstein's island and skipped straight past context. Somehow, a man discussing black holes ended up in a conspiracy theories with zero gravity. It's a perfect example of how the Epstein files turned even innocent appearance into vital shock fuel, where a lecture on cosmology gets treated like a plot twist. In Hawkins' case, The facts are boring, but the rumors were light speed. LeBron James. LeBron James also caught stray shots when the Epstein files went crazy. Even though there is no evidence tying him to Jeffrey Epstein at all, online posts tried to connect LeBron James based on recycled photo, caption taken out of context, and the classic internet logic of when you're famous plus something is trending, that is suspicious. There are no flight logs, no emails, no meetings, and no accusations from victims. In short, nothing expect a lots of to it. Somehow a man known for his basketball IQ and philanthropy got pulled into a scandal he never touched. It's like blaming a player for a fall in a game which he did not even attend. The episode shows how the Epstein files became a magnet for a rumor making, where even athletes with clean records gets dragged into chaos. Proof that on social media, difference is optional, but outrage is automatic. Elon Musk. The name Elon Musk, the billionaire behind Tesla and X, also appears in the newly released Epstein documents, though only a handful of times. Emails from 2012 and 2013 show Musk discussing ideas of visiting Jeffrey Epstein's private Caribbean island. But here's the key detail. There is no clear evidence that any visit actually happened. Talking about a trip, it turns out, is not the same as talking one, something many of us know from a half-planned vacations. When reporters asked for comments, Musk's company stayed silent. Musk himself, however, had been very loud. In a post of X in 2025, he said Epstein repeatedly invited him to the island and that he refused every time. In Elon's word, Epstein tried, but I say no. Jean-Luc Brunel, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Alan Dostrovich. When people hear about Epstein files, three names often pop up: Jean-Luc Brunel, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Alan Dostrovich, and for very different reasons. Brunel was a French modeling agent accused by multiple women of abuse. He was linked to Jeffrey Epstein and later found dead in prison in 2022 while awaiting trial. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate, wasn't just mentioned, she was convicted in 2021 for helping recruit and traffic minors. And then there is Alan Dostrovich, a famous lawyer who was named in connection with Epstein through allegations. Dostrovich has strongly denied all wrongdoings, was never charged, and says the claims are false. Yet his name keeps showing up like a pop-up ad nobody asked for. Same files, very different outcomes, and a reminder that being mentioned isn't the same as being guilty. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you guys found the video pretty interesting. Comment on your favorite parts and please do comments where in the world you guys have watched the video.